All right. This is Scrambled Age, Finding Meaning in a Mixed Up World. And I'm Sean. This is, I guess, the third topic in our discussion about leading worship. Today I want to talk about singing a new song. What does that mean? I had one question about that on the previous video, and thank you for our 5 subscribers for subscribing and watching. Anyway, sing a new song. Psalm 33:3. Sing a new song to him, play skillfully on the strings with a joyful shout. So what does that mean to sing a new song? Well, a new song is a fresh song. It's not stale, in other words. Usually when you sing a new song, it's going to be in the context of something grand, something that attempts to match the glory and significance and the immensity of the Lord. Sing a new song is not going to be something that's just a throwaway tune. A lot of times it's paired with skillful playing or poetic lyrical songs. It's usually, it's singing. Now the question is can it be just a song out of your heart, just a spontaneous thing? Of course, that can be a new song. I would say singing, making melody in your hearts to the Lord. That's in the New Testament, kind of the equivalent. Singing to each other in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. That would be included there. The spiritual songs might be a new song. But I want to zero in on that fresh thing. A lot of times we can get, I know it's hard to not get stuck in the rut of singing the same songs over and over every week for years and years. I do a lot of the same songs all the time, and it's a balance, because the main thing you're doing here when you're leading worship is you're leading people. You're leading people in praise, in singing, in worship, into the presence of God. And you don't want to be the one on the trail 2 miles up ahead, say, come on guys, catch up. You're walking alongside people. You're bringing them with you into the throne room of God. So you don't want to sing songs that people are just lost. They have no idea where you are, or how to sing this, or never heard the song before. So that's the one thing. I try to introduce songs regularly. I would say maybe a new song a month, maybe 2. Here's my rule: if I introduce a song for the first time, then that week I'm singing it, the next week I'm singing it, and the next week I'm singing it. So I'm going to have to sing it 3 times in a row. I may introduce part of the song and then more of it, and then the whole song by the 3rd week. Maybe you'll introduce a song during maybe like a communion or offering time the first time. Maybe not. It's okay. I always tell people, if you don't know the song, it's new, just let it be a conversation starter between you and God. You don't have to sing along. You can just sit there and let the words sink in this time. So after the 3rd time, I'll drop it, because I don't want it to feel like, oh man, we've been singing this for weeks, and I'm getting tired of it now. It's a new song, but I'm tired of it. So I sing it for 3 weeks, drop it, go back to my older songs. Then it'll come in my regular rotation whenever it's appropriate, whenever it works. So if we do that, maybe once a month or so, you introduce fresh music, fresh expressions of praise and worship, and hopefully things don't get stale. But you also want to keep those old songs going that people know, because it's not really so much about the song. It's really about those songs being a tool, a way for us to express ourselves to the Lord. And say we're doing Amazing Grace. You can put that song. It's everyone knows it's from so long ago, and it can be really fresh. So you could take an old song and bring it back, and it can be fresh again if it's maybe gotten a little old and stale in your congregation. But think about this. One thing we have, it's a blessing and a curse right now, is Christian radio and Christian music has shifted. When I was growing up, Christian music was, really getting into the rock and the metal and the punk and all that kind of thing. And it wasn't necessarily worship. That was the popular thing. Now, people want not just, well, back then it was more of it was an outreach. It was ministry. Music was ministry. And also it was, music that you like that wasn't going to be offensive. So, like one of the Christian stations says, safe for the whole family. It's just sterile, it's, but now what people want, you can get music anywhere at your fingertips, but they want an experience. So Christian music, the music industry has shifted to worship, and you see like Air One, it's all about worship music. That doesn't mean all the music on the radio should technically be, sung in church. Maybe it's more inspirational than worship, congregational type worship. So anyway, the blessing is there's so much worship music on the radio, and so many people have access to it. A lot of people listen to Christian radio. I don't, because I don't like it. I like different things, but that's another video, I suppose. I like worship music. I like Christian music, but I don't like Christian radio. Let's say that. But there's so many songs that so many people know. So you can take the top 20 on the Christian radio and be pretty certain that a lot of people in your congregation are going to know some of those songs. So you can introduce a new song and it already be recognizable and singable for your congregation. So that's the blessing part of it. The curse part of it is not everything that's on Christian radio right now or available in the Christian music industry is quality stuff. When we sing a new song to the Lord, we want it to be played, written skillfully. We don't want to be rhyming love and enough anymore. We want something fresh in terms of the poetry of it. You Call Me Out Upon the Water was fresh at the time, but now there's a lot of different vague imagery out there that isn't. It's just that. It's just vague imagery. Who knows what it's talking about. So we want to pick songs that are fresh, that speak specifically about the Lord, speak poetically, lyrically, and in a fresh way. not the same old rhymes and things. But on the other hand, we want it to be not only well written, but also uh, easy to learn. So we don't want something so complicated in the syncopation that you just can't find it. That the average person isn't going to be able to catch on to the song. Um, and if maybe there's a song that you really want to do and it is a little bit complex, simplify it, sing it straight. Because it's not about how cool the song is, it's about bringing everybody along for the journey. So we want to pick quality songs, keep it fresh, and we want to keep make it accessible. So like so what kind of music is that? I mean, throughout history, I mean, we have a huge history in the church of good Christian or good worship music. Um, going back to Handel's Messiah uh, in the what 1600s, um, and then I mean even before that, we have our chants and for goodness sake, in Ephesians we have "Wake up, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." I don't know what the tune was for that, but that was one of the early songs of the church. Um, and when going into the hymns of the Wesleys, even Luther and the Southern Gospel stuff of the last century, Fanny Crosby and the Gaithers. That's fun stuff. Um, and then and then of course the Jesus movement and the Maranatha music, and then the charismatic movement and Vineyard. I started leading worship 30 years ago, and basically started on Maranatha and Vineyard stuff, and then of course in our main service when I started playing for that, a lot of the more Southern gospel type things, and then when it came when I really got into it, when Passion came on the scene and modern worship. I guess modern worship really started with Hillsong. So did Passion, and then now we have uh, our Bethel type music and Jesus culture and things like that, which are more. But it's basically a new movement that's going on, and so the point being, there's always a new song happening, a new fresh move of the Spirit, and people are responding to that, and music is part of that response and part of the movement, and there's always a new song happening. And as in your church, maybe yourself, you may not have the I don't know, the inclination or the ability to write your own music. So the great thing is there's so much out there, and it's not just what's coming out right now in the last few years. You can go back. I wanted to share Matthew chapter 13, verse 52. It says, Jesus is saying, "Therefore, every teacher of the law who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom treasures new and old." So he's talking about a teacher using different methods. Maybe he's talking, about a stick in your eye, and you see the stick in someone else's eye, but not in your own eye. Maybe he's using a lesson like that, or maybe a parable about seeds. He's using all kinds of methods, and new and old. But as worship leaders, we can use different kinds of songs, and new songs and old songs. Like I said, just because it's an old song doesn't mean it's not going to be fresh. It can be fresh when you reintroduce it, when you bring it back. So each period has something, uh, has a strength. You go back to the '80s, especially those integrity songs. Great choruses, great times for just soaking in God's presence. Well, same thing with some of the newer worship. But those were choruses back then. Now, of course, most of our worship songs are the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus kind of thing. Back then, maybe it was a verse, chorus, period, or just a chorus. And it was great. So there's different structures even back then. You take the hymns and it's just verse, or maybe a refrain. Um, the music from different periods have different structures and can work in different ways in your congregation. So don't be afraid to dip back into history and make something old fresh again. Uh, so there's that too. Uh, so I guess that is most of what I want to say today. I'm just talking, just out of my head, out of my heart. I think of a topic and then I start the camera. So here I am. But there's definitely more to say on worship, and there will be at least a couple more videos in this series. Anyway, thank you for watching, for listening, maybe even sharing if you think it'll be of any benefit to someone else. But we'll see you soon. God bless.